I'm going to show you now how to make the tree branch from our structural core. So you've got in your maker's box, you will get this size of a structural core piece. You can cut this in half. If you do cut this in half, be mindful to, if you don't like tiny little fibers floating around, then be mindful and wear a mask. It gets quite, it's quite dusty when you cut it, and you see it on a white table that it's completely covered with tiny little brown fibers. You only need half of this to make one branch, and you get in your box these two colors, and they work really well together in terms of making them the outer cover. And you mix these as you mix any wool. You mix them by just laying them on top of each other and making a mottled mix, so you don't need to mix it very thoroughly. And then you roll your branch up as tight as you can. If you don't want it to be super skinny, then obviously you roll it up less tight. In any case, you start at one end, so you don't have everything rolled. I think you could probably stab into it and felt it loosely together without, let's just see if that works. I'm going to use my 3 needle felting tool to see if just stabbing into it will make it work. That's not how I've made it, but it's just popped into my head that this might be a way of doing it, just to have it fastened together. I think you might have to felt it quite a lot to get to that point, but yeah, you can already sort of tuck your branch together by just felting straight into it and letting the fibers of the structural core go straight into the other side. It wants to pop open, but you can be persistent and do it. And once you've either just closed a little bit by holding it tight, you lay the wool over the gap, over the seam here first, and then you can use either a single felting needle, or you can use your multi-tool and you just stab it down. You can have a bit of the darker brown exposed, so that's okay if that looks peeps through. Speeding things up, use your 3 needle felting tool, but it's not essential. You can just literally use a single needle and then just stab it on and repeat the process. I would say go all the way to the edge. You don't need to mix the wool massively well. In fact, it looks quite nice if some of the outer is green and some of it is just brown, so even just use it on its own at times, or just don't mix it very well at all. And you're working your way all the way around it, all the way around the whole shape, keeping it 3D. And as you're adding the wool onto the seam here, that is how the shape stays closed, obviously. So do make sure that part you're stabbing down really well, and that way you can make some pretty realistic looking branches. Actually, you can make it much bigger if you want to, so use the whole sheet and make a larger trunk maybe, or just stick with smaller branches. And I think it looks really awesome having these all felted up like that. Now, if you want to incorporate your ribbon, you're going to have to lay the ribbon out so it comes on this ribbon here. You have to. This will help you hold your shape together as well. If you want to have the leaves just sticking out rather than. And what you need to make sure is, which I haven't done here now, the leaves need to be on the outside, so it needs to be the other way around. So the leaves are their leaves are made from paper, like a nice thick paper. And if you want to have them showing on the outside, you have to have these sewn on so that it's on the outside of the ribbon, and they're all sewn on from the same side, so it's not like you have to twist the ribbon around. So you can wrap the ribbon around your core felt structural core first. There's 2 meters of ribbon, so you can go around it twice for each branch if you want. I won't do this now because I just want to show you a little bit. So instead of just closing the tree trunk up, you're actually using the wool, mix it, and then you're going to felt it into the ribbon and into the shape all at the same time. But avoid, whatever you do, avoid the leaves. even on the other side, because they are made from paper, and if you puncture them, you will see the holes in there, and you serrate them, and then they're just more likely to come off. So you can incorporate the leaves, but don't punch into them with a needle. You have to be careful going around it, so that they are eventually just literally sticking out like that. And that's how you can make a branch with leaves sticking out. There you go.